What's going on, guys? Blazing Tech out here on Tatooine. We're going to be doing a video about a couple of interesting mods that you can do to a Tacoma SR or a base model to make it look cooler and drive a little bit better. So stay tuned for this video, stay tuned for my next videos, and I'll be referencing a lot of my past videos in this video. So be sure to check out the channel so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's start with quote-unquote free mods that you can do. This model actually costs you about 99 cents depending on if you go with Plast-Dip or spray paint. On the interior, I went with Plast-Dip. Now, as you can see, I've paint matched the inside of my dash, kind of the bezel around the stereo and one of the driver's side vents to match the Tacoma's exterior. So it's got a kind of FJ Cruiser vibe. And the Plast-Dip I think costed me $7. Probably took me a couple hours, let's say about 4 hours to get this done. But I do have a video about this process and I'll leave that link down below. This will be one of the least expensive mods you could do. It does give the truck a more premium feel. Now this next one will only work if you have a 2016 to I want to say 2018 SR where you're going to have a chrome emblem right there in your grill. Now what I did is I removed it and I paint matched mine white, and I just did that with spray paint. Naturally that took me, I want to say, total like an hour and a half just to make sure that everything dried, but it does give it a really cool color contrast. So those were my Dollar Tree mods, if you will. The next set of mods that I want to talk about on the Tacoma here are the lettering, the Tacoma lettering. Now we don't get these on the SR. I've opted to go ahead and add Tacoma right here, as well as the tiny SR5 up there. And that took me about, let's say, an hour and a half to put some double-sided tape on there, measure it, and put it on. Very easy, and it does give the truck a very premium feel. Now, you can order these in chrome or black for anywhere under 40 bucks. I wouldn't pay more than 40 bucks for this mod. I got lucky and picked mine up used, and I just kept them chrome because I like the color contrast that you get with the wheels, and it goes great with the chrome emblems. And I personally, I'm not opposed to the chrome like a lot of other guys. Next up, coming in at about 65 bucks, is a performance mod. And I actually put a drop-in K&N air filter in here, which I've got a video for that. I'll link that down below. And this will definitely increase the airflow coming in, but more than anything, it's going to give you a better throttle response. And in a manual like mine, I could actually shift the truck at a lower RPM because the throttle is a little more touchy. And even if you have an auto, you're going to really appreciate the fact that the throttle response is much improved. And that mod comes in at right about 65 bucks. I think it's a great addition, and I would do it 100 times over. Next mod on the list price is $80 for this guy, and it is the chrome exhaust tip, the OEM chrome exhaust tip. Again, I kind of like the chrome, so the exhaust tip really emphasizes my emblems and the chrome on my wheels. I like it. The list price is 80 bucks. You can pick these up for relatively cheaper. I'm going to go in order price-wise list price because I picked mine up for 20 bucks, but I usually get lucky with my mods. But I wouldn't pay more than 80 bucks because you can buy one new. If you scour along the internet or online, you could probably pick one up from anywhere from 40 to 50 bucks, but I like it. It really, like I said, the chrome contrast in the wheels I like the chrome of the emblems, and the exhaust tip just is a very nice finishing touch because the exhaust tip kind of comes on a lot of the higher trim Tacomas, not on the SR. Now, if I had to have one mod on my list, if I was driving a brand new SR Tacoma, this one costed me about 150 bucks plus installation. It would be adding the Bilstein 4600 shocks, front and rear, onto the Tacoma SR. Now, I picked mine up for 150 bucks, and those were used. They had about 1,000 miles on them. And the thing is that people take them off of the Tacoma off-road the TRD off-road when they put bigger wheels and tires and they do a lift. So these are very inexpensive pieces, but they drastically improve the ride in the Tacoma SR, and I paid about 150 bucks and another 160 to install it. It's probably be the most expensive mod on my list, coming in at, you know, 300 to 400 bucks installed. You can probably pick up these shocks for relatively inexpensive, just scour some classifieds and stuff like that. But this mod is the one mod out of everything I'm going to talk about in this video, I would do this one over any of them. That really changes the ride quality and just the overall ride of the Tacoma SR, and it gives it a really premium feel. If you don't believe me, I would test drive an off-road and then go back to your SR, and you're really going to see the difference. Another must, I would say, is to change those really old, outdated steel wheels. Now, they're great, but they have been around since about 2005. You can get a set of Tacoma OEM aluminum wheels, alloy wheels. You can get a set for anywhere from 150 to 200 bucks. I know that the SR5 from the 2016 to the 2018, they're a dark satin rim. Those are extremely inexpensive. I see those going online for 150 bucks for the entire set, and that will drastically change the look of your Tacoma SR. And I would put that second on the list. And the only reason why I wouldn't put that above the shocks is because the wheels is really an aesthetic, whereas the shocks are something that really changes the ride quality. But as you can see here, I threw a set of off-roads. I actually had a set of those dark satin SR5 rims as well, but I picked up a set of the TRD off-road Tacoma wheels, 16-inch, and they're just pretty much, you get these wheels and tires, and you go to a C+ shop, and if you have steel wheels, what they'll do is they'll take your TPMS out, and instead of the TPMS sitting like this, they'll invert it this way, and your TPMS will work just fine. Don't let anybody tell you that the TPMS will not work. But this is the #2 mod, and it really changes the look of your Tacoma SR, and I think that that is a really great mod that you can do for under 300 bucks. Now the next mod I'm going to talk about are the OE style or the OEM Tacoma running boards. Now these can be had for anywhere under $200. I wouldn't pay more than $200 for this mod in particular, and I think that it really is a utilitarian mod, especially if you have somebody under, oh, say 5'2" that's going to ride in the truck, or if you're under 5'2", these bars are very nice to have, and they do give it a more premium look because these bars are standard equipment, I guess you could say, on a lot of Tacomas. It really depends on the dealer, but this is another mod that I got mine for 125 bucks. If you scour, you could probably get them for 100 bucks. You know, just join some Facebook groups and stuff like that, ask around, but this is definitely a mod that is going to give it more of a premium, and I guess you could say a higher MSRP look, but it's also very useful. And the final mod I want to talk about today are adding a set of Fender Flares. Now the SR does not come with Fender Flares, and you can add a set for, I want to say, about $250. I got really lucky with mine, and I picked up my LUND. They're the smooth finish, and they don't have those rivets in them like a lot of the other models, and they're bolt on. You don't have to drill into them. If I could do it again, I picked mine up for 40 bucks, and I would pay just about that, maybe 100 tops. So I would not pay over $200 for a set of these bolt-on Fender Flares. They are kind of cheap. They really do enhance the look of the truck. I'm very pleased with how they look. But personally, I would not have invested $200 out of pocket for these. But if you have to have that kind of, especially if it depends on the truck and what you're going for, if you have to have some Fender Flares, these are really great. The LUND, they look good, like I said. Build quality, I think, is going to be the same for a lot of these bolt-on Fender Flares. If you wanted some Fender Flares, I'd be real patient and I'd scour the internet for some TRD off-road OEM Fender Flares, or just order the part. It'll be really expensive, but this is kind of my creme, or my most expensive SR mod recommendation. And before I wrap this up, guys, I really want to stress the importance of patience when it comes to finding SR Tacoma mods. You just have to be really patient, because there's guys that get these trucks and immediately they customize them. For example, my TRD Sport hood, as you can see, I did really luck out with this mod. It was an old lady. She bought a TRD Sport and she didn't want the hood swap. Or she didn't want the hood and she wanted to do a hood swap. So I was lucky, I was the first one to respond, and I got the hood, and I had to drive a considerable distance to swap it, within California of course. But the point is, if you're patient and you're scouring places like Craigslist, LetGo, Facebook, you will find the mods that you want, and you're gonna have kind of cool stories, and you're gonna meet cool people along the way, and you can customize this truck for pennies on the dollar. And I just want to stress that. And you don't have to do it all in one weekend. You can piecemeal it out, and you're going to save money, especially if you're patient, and the right part that you need, that your truck wants, that you think is going to be the cherry on top of your truck, it'll come. You just got to be patient. Thanks for watching, guys. Blazing Tech, and we'll catch you on the next one. Please support the channel. It really helps me grow. Leave a like down below, and check out my channel, because I've got a lot of other Tacoma content. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.